My name is Elder Dexter Johns. This is my resurrection journey.
Greetings and welcome to Resurrection Journeys. Join us as we talk with those who have been a part of this church family for many years. Welcome to this Resurrection Journey.
What brought you to Resurrection Life?
Well, I was currently a part of another ministry of 8 years, and I was really kind of troubled in things of that nature. And I kept hearing the name Trevor Banks come up. And one day I was confided in my assistant pastor, and I was kind of grieved and kind of vexed, and I was asking him some things, and he said this. He said, with what you looking for, the only pastor that I know is Trevor Banks. And so when the Lord released me, I wasn't familiar with Trevor Banks. I wasn't familiar with the church. I didn't know no one at the church. So I knew it was a divine appointment by God. It was an answered prayer from God.
That's really good. So, did you ever have a moment where you were like, this is my church home? Or did you ever have a moment where you were like, I belong here?
Most definitely. From the first time I came to this church, the first day I came in, the presence of the Lord was there. People was very nice and very welcoming. And the message was on time and on point. And from that day forward, I knew this was the place for me.
So do you feel that every time you come to church, this church?
Most definitely. I have no doubts at all.
What was your first impression of this church?
The first impression of this church was the presence of the Lord was there, and love.
So when you talk about love, can you expound on that?
The people was very welcoming, and I didn't feel like, even though I was a stranger, I didn't feel like a stranger.
So you felt like you were part of a family?
Yes, most definitely.
Awesome. Can you tell me about a time where apostle or a pastor really came through for you?
Well, they always come through for me, to be honest, whether it's through the word, whether it's through just their presence, whether it's through a rebuke, they always have came through for me.
So is there a moment where you felt specifically, what's the most impact that they had in your life?
Well, it's so many, but one of the most impactful things that really stood out to me, I was driving one night, my wife and I was driving one night, and we happened to come by the church, and I saw our apostle and pastor's car there. And so I stopped and just to see whether they needed any help, anything. And what was so profound about it, it was on a Saturday night, around about close to 11 o'clock. And when I came in, I watched them. They had just got back from Walmart. They was preparing bags with toothpaste, toothbrushes, and things of that nature for a traveling basketball team. And that really impacted me because to me that was what ministry was about true servitude. When most people see them, in church on a Sunday or stuff, things, but these are the things that are behind the scene that are so impactful.
And of course, serving with the Lord's will.
Most definitely.
So how has the church grown or changed since you've been here?
Well, it has grown and changed phenomenally. The word continually stretch us, and it's continually challenging. It's continually challenges us, and just to see the growth from the people, the growth in my personal life, and even the growth in my family's life.
So, like, your family. So, tell me more about your family and how the church has impacted your family.
Well, with my family, I have 3 sons. They all attend, and with my wife, through the ministry, she has opened up with how pastor has ministered to her life and how pastor has walked in stature. It really have developed her, and also with apostle, with just his stature and the things what I've watched, just by his impartation, his life, and how he loved God and stuff. That really have impacted my life.
So, like, how is so your life has changed, like, ever since you've been a part of this ministry?
Most definitely.
How so?
When I came here, I came here from another church, from a Baptist background, and I've just really learned so much. And everything I've learned, I've been able to implement it into my my vocation, my personal life. For as I was a superintendent on my job, and the principles that I've learned here at church, I was able to implement them to my works and things of that nature. So it definitely has impacted me because of the things that I've learned here. I've took it further, and it has took my life to phenomenal places.
So, how long have you been a part of this church?
Roughly over 25 years.
That is a long time.
It's been a blessing too.
That's 2 decades.
Yes.
Let's see. So, what was your most memorable experience?
One of my most memorable experiences was a trip to Jamaica. And mission is part of Apostle and Pastor's Heart. And we was on this mission trip in Jamaica, and the warfare was very intense. And that's where I really seen Apostle on a different level, because I remember that vividly. That night, all the lights that went out in the parish, and I mean the warfare was strong, and that was one of the first times I've seen devils being cast out, and things of that nature. But when we got back to the hotel, Apostle was talking with us, and and kind of questioning us. And one of the questions he asked was, what is the Lord saying to us? And I don't even know what I said, but I said, what is the Lord? I said something like, I bet I was hearing dogs barking or something. Man, why I said that? He said dogs barking, but I mean he was on it though. But I learned from that point on what the seriousness of just going. It wasn't a vacation. This was a real mission trip, and we was on a mission. And but I seen great and mighty moves of God on that trip, and it affected my life in a very profound way.
So, speaking of mighty moves, like, have you ever experienced any miracles, like being a part of this church?
Yes.
Maybe let me put it this way: have you ever done any miracles, or like experienced any miracles happen?
Well, put it this way: God bringing me here was a miracle, because that was truly a miracle, because naturally I didn't know no one here. I didn't know no one here. I wasn't familiar with no one, and no one had invited me here. But I knew I just knew from the first day I came, but this was a prayer answered. Because just one thing I would like to say too, because when I came here, I know it was a miracle, because it was an answered prayer. And so this was one of the hardest decisions I ever had to make in my life, was to find a church. And finding a church, it's not like I'm buying a car or a house or something, but finding a church, if I come in here, I had to bring my family here. So And when I came here, and it was a prayer answered, and that was, I could say to Apostle and Pastor Bank, thank you, because you made one of the hardest decisions I ever had to make in my life easy.
So when talking to you, I can tell automatically the gratitude you have for finding this church and being a part of it. I think that's awesome. So what keeps you excited to keep coming to services?
The word, the presence of the Lord, the vision, and things of that nature.
What would you say that this house has to offer to men out there?
Okay. To men, I would say this here. To men, if you don't have a father, you have a father here. You have one that would not only lay down his life for you, he lived his life in a way that you can, like Apostle Paul say, follow me as I follow Christ. I think I can say that about Apostle. I can follow Apostle like he followed Christ. He have a family structure. He walk upright. He walk circumspect to God's word. He have a lot to offer. This church has a lot to offer.
You hear people talk about discipline or rebuke or correction in the church. And you brought up, being rebuked or disciplined in the church. And we'll often hear that Apostle does it, and he has to bring correction. He does it in a way that doesn't tear you down. Can you maybe expand on that a little bit?
Most definitely. When it comes to what they call control, but really it's structure. And I remember this here very vividly. When we up to minister, he give us a certain parameters to minister in, and more or less to somebody that's rebellious or something, they would call it control. But even I found it to be another level of freedom, because even when he ministered, he said, you can use use things that you've heard from the pulpit, and that just freed us up. We don't have to come with a new message. We just have to elaborate and let God minister us from the message that's been coming from the house. And I've had so much of freedom, another level of freedom and confidence by that structure. And one thing I'd like to say too is so profound. When people talks about control, the truth be told, you cannot protect what you can't control.
Thank you for joining Resurrection Journeys. If you want more information about our church, call 772-465-0036 or visit us online at reslifefl.com. Until next time, thank you for joining us on this Resurrection Journey.